What's going on, guys? I am Jaye Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I want to talk about Ruben Studdard, man. This is a story that for a while has gone under the radar. I haven't seen anybody really make any videos on. Not that I've been looking for it, but I'm just saying from the various amounts of content I've seen over the years, I haven't really seen anybody speak on this, but I will, of course. So shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I want to talk about Ruben and his separation and how he finessed his ex-wife, who pretty much, I believe, was a gold digger, and he figured it out and he had to go. Now, I'm going to read to you an article from that particular time frame just to give you some background in the separation. Now, this was according to TMZ in 2012. Ruben Studdard divorces like a champ after ironclad prenup. If you ever plan to get married, start taking notes, because former American Idol champion Ruben Studdard just went through the cleanest divorce ever, all thanks to his ironclad prenup. TMZ broke the story. Ruben filed for divorce in November from his wife, Sorata Zuri McCants. I think that's how you say her name. Citing irreconcilable differences. The divorce was finalized in January. Okay. It got hairy at first. Zuri tried to get the judge in a divorce case to nullify the prenup, claiming Ruben blindsided her with the documents just days before the wedding, unfairly pressuring her into signing them. That's basically what you have to do, man. You got to put them papers, say, hey, we about to get married, sign them papers, because in any other time, women ain't going to sign no prenup. As much as women want to get married, they are not going to sign a prenup. They just not going to do it. It's going to be very difficult for you to get them to sign a prenup. And that is why she didn't want to sign that prenup, because she already knew what was going to happen. But the judge wasn't buying it, upholding the prenup and awarding Zuri close to zilch in the divorce. According to the final judgment, Ruben was not ordered to pay any spousal support or alimony, and he gets to keep his home. Keep their home, plus all his belongings, jewelry, pensions, royalties, clothing, and all his cash. It was even ordered Zuri return the engagement ring. Just to give y'all some quick background on Ruben. The thing is that how they met. According to his ex, Zuri, she was a flight attendant, okay, allegedly, and a friend wanted to meet Ruben, get him to sign her CD. So she left her job because her friend was at her job, so she couldn't get off. So she had to go meet Ruben, and she told Ruben the story, and Ruben was like, well, you're not a fan? And that's when the two became, pretty much connected to each other. Now, for those of you who don't know, Zuri was in the tip drill video. She was in a tip drill video. And I believe that played a big part into why Ruben left, because I think Ruben had been wanting to leave for quite some time. When you look at Zuri McCants, she doesn't look like a messy chick. She doesn't look like a ratchet or dysfunctional chick. She looks like the girl next door, And the fact that Ruben filed a divorce in Alabama, his home state, lets you know that he is still close to home. He's a small town guy, and he meets a female who's working a regular, job. And I don't think he knew at the time she was in Nelly's tip drill video, but she was. I didn't really know until, I read up on this. I didn't really know she was in it. So, through research, I could go back and look at certain things, because I've seen that tip drill video numerous amounts of times back in the day, and, again, I was, randomly coming upon the video. Anyway, I don't think I really recognized her. But anyway, she was in that. She was a part of the Atlanta entertainment scene and allegedly a scripper, or pretty much was a scripper. And I think that once Ruben tied the knot and he started piecing things together, he realized he had made a mistake. And that is why Ruben waited for the right time to file the paperwork and get from under this marriage that he felt like, he wasn't comfortable being in. due to him realizing he was with someone who was a bit of a gold digger. Meanwhile, Zuri gets next to nothing. Her wedding dress, her photo albums, a 2006 BMW, which Ruben will pay off, a $10,000 property settlement, $2,000 for attorney fees, oh yeah, and her maiden name. The lesson learned, don't sign a prenup unless you're loaded. And that's what happened in this situation. And this is why women are against prenups. This is why Michael Strahan didn't marry, or one of the reasons he didn't marry Nicole Murphy is because she refused to sign a prenup. I don't know why women think that they're going to get with these guys and these guys are not going to ask for them to sign a prenup. And if you're a woman who making your own money, you should want to protect yourself too, because the tables can turn, you know. The tables can turn, and it can become a situation where, he needs you more financially. So you think you're getting into a situation where he's the breadwinner, he's taking care of everything, but the roles can reverse very quickly, and they usually do. Now, when you look at Ruben and what he has done since, he's kind of been very under the radar. He had some success, but he's been kind of on the radar. I think he's doing some Broadway stuff. He's still touring. He's still making music. He's still staying true to himself. He didn't go Hollywood like some of these other people, go crazy, weird behavior, partying. That's just not who he was. I think that's why it was so easy for him to get from out of that marriage, because he wasn't out there. He was a genuine guy who knew, who was actually intelligent and understood the making sure that his ex signed a prenup to make sure he was prepared to leave that relationship and to never make that same mistake again. And to my knowledge, he hasn't gotten married, or he hasn't gotten to any serious relationship ever since. He's pretty much maintained focusing on himself and his career. That would be the definition of going your own way, right? Instead of it being a situation where, you have guys who continuously get married over and over. I just recently did a video about Shane Mosley and how, even though he went through a very lopsided divorce, but his ex-wife wanted to take everything and the championship belts and make him get a vasectomy. He still went and got engaged to another woman and will marry her next year. That's somebody, and you can tell that that's the same type of female. It's like Lamar Odom. I did a video about him. He's the same way, continuously dating the same type of women, and he's going to end up getting the same type of results. You're surrounding yourself with, clout thirsty females who are looking to leech off of you to make money, to enrich themselves, to build their brands. They couldn't build a brand on their own, so they're using you as much as they can use you, and they're going to toss you to the side unless you figure them out and understand women more. That is the purpose of me making content on YouTube, is to help others understand things that it took me a long time to figure out on my own. The things that I've learned, the amount of studying, the amount of self-reflection I have done, it lends itself to the content that I make. This is why I make the kind of content that I do. And listen, it ain't for everybody. This video ain't gonna be for everybody, but it's to maintain a focus on guys like Ruben Studdard, a guy who got married, he went through divorce, and he came out squeaky clean. Never made that mistake again, because he knew it was a mistake. Now, if people decide to get married, that's a choice that they make. That's a choice that they make. I'm not against them having that choice. But at the end of the day, you have to make sure that you are able to cover yourself and protect yourself from being financially ruined through a marriage to a woman that you thought was a good girl, a hardworking female, but she was actually in them streets really like that. Ex-groupie, video vixen, scripper, allegedly a flight attendant. Now, I haven't heard anything of her. Looked her up. Don't think anything much is going on with her. I pretty much think that she's going on to have a regular, normal life, which is fine. And Ruben seems to be having his own regular, normal life. You know, he was married to Zuri for almost 4 years, you know, and I think Ruben is a good guy. I think he's a genuine guy. That's why you don't hear any bad words about him. You don't see any bad articles written about him and no messy drama, because he is a very intelligent guy. He may be, you know, a guy from the country. I'm saying from the country, but people would consider him from the country because from Alabama. But a guy who's from down south. He's very religious. And people will look at that and say, well, he's not a guy who is intelligent enough to understand the nuances of relationships, marriage, and divorce. But he did. And he was able to get a huge W. And one of the main reasons why I'm posting this is because I hear guys say that prenups don't work. Prenups don't work. Prenups do work if you understand and you prepare for it. Because I know in some states they won't enforce a prenup, especially if it's a guy who is a multi-millionaire and the woman doesn't have anything. Of course, they're not going to want to enforce those prenups. They're going to think that she's going to lead a relationship with pretty much nothing, and he's going to have way more than what he needs. So in those situations, I could see where they won't enforce. But in this situation, they enforce. But she didn't leave empty-handed. She got some money. She was able to keep her property, keep her car. So it wasn't like she left the relationship but didn't have anything to show for it. She has something to show for it. And maybe it helped her dating life moving forward. You know, got her out of the spotlight. Maybe that was good for her. You know, she went through a phase and change. But I think that knowing more about the woman that he married, I think Ruben in that instance was like, man, you just don't know who you're getting in relationships with. You just don't know who you're marrying. And he took the necessary steps to finesse his way out the relationship, whether people like it or not, you know.